Are we ready?
Yep.
Okay, we're ready to, we're rolling, whenever you want.
I think the reason that Jane Austen remains popular is because of the enormous extent to which she's misunderstood. You know, I mean, the popularity of Jane Austen has to do with misreading of her, a childish, or not really childish, an adolescent reading of Austen. It has to do with the worst kind of girlishness, because there are good kinds of girlishness, but this is a bad kind. It has to do also with the fact that, for some reason, people seem to think Austen was later in history than she was. She has an image as a Victorian, and there is a love of Victorianism that never seems to die. Most people who love her love her because they think she writes romances. People love romances. We know this. I don't think she's popular for the right reasons. I think she's popular for the wrong reasons. In fact, it may be impossible to be popular for the right reasons. You know, anyone who possesses the right reasons would be probably pretty unpopular. To lose yourself in a book is the desire of the bookworm. I mean, to be taken. That is my desire, and that's my desire actually in any form. You know, I want to be taken, and you know that may come from childhood. You know, the discovery of the world, which I discovered in a library. I lived in a little town, you know, and the library was the world. This is the opposite way that people are taught to read now. People are consistently told, you know, what can you learn about your own life from this novel? You know, what lessons will this teach you? How can you use this? And this is a Philistine idea. This is beyond vulgar, and I think that it's an awful way to approach anything. A book, you know, should be the same. It should take you away. A book is not supposed to be a mirror. It's supposed to be a door. And so, you know, that to me is a test of any artist, not just a writer. If you're really a truth teller, you better be funny, because otherwise they will kill you. So she is. That's why she's funny, you know. And of course the thing she's funny about, you know, which is human nature, this doesn't change. You know, this is what we wish would change. I mean, I wish human nature would improve, but it doesn't and never will. And that is, of course, you know, any writer that, you know, presents you with human nature in a true way, even marginally true, you don't have to be as profoundly true as Austen, will last. And the reason for that, you know, doesn't always have to do with how good the writer is. It has to do with how bad human beings are. Austen had what all English writers had up until 5 minutes ago, which is they had all this, they didn't have to explain everything. You know, and that is one of the reasons they have a reputation for being witty, because they have this class system. Everyone knew what they were talking about. You know, everyone. You didn't have to explain things. You know, everyone. There's all this assumption a writer could do, and that Austen could do, and that relieves the writer of explanation. Explanation is journalism. You know, that's why they are so purely artful, so purely art. It used to be a compliment to say that a woman wrote like a man or thought like a man, and all that they meant is that she thought, you know, which is not considered to be a feminine quality, female quality, and in many regards it still is not. She should appeal to anyone with a brain in their head. And that, you know, the fact that these writers, especially someone say like Kipling, you know, or Churchill, you know, admired her writing, should prove the point that, you know, she doesn't write romances for, you know, 13-year-old girls. If I could meet Austen, what would I ask her? I would say, hey, would you like to read this thing I'm writing? Tell me what you think about it. You know, I don't know. You know, my interest in meeting writers is, in my adult life is minute to the point of non-existence. You have only to meet a writer to not really care about meeting writers. Jane Austen is a true ironist, you know, and this is something that's very hard to explain to people now, because we live in an era which has lasted, you know, an endless 30 years. Everyone says we live in this age of irony, but it's an ersatz irony. She is a true ironist. And naturally, there would never be an American era that was truly ironic. It's a very un-American position because it is lacking optimism. It's the opposite of optimism. And she's corrosive. I mean, I would say that one of the most unusual things about Austen is not her talent, but her intelligence. I mean, you can be a very, very talented novelist and not be as smart as Jane Austen. It is not necessary to be as intelligent as she clearly is, but the combination is pretty breathtaking.
I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.